coming in from the bottom left side of the map.
Yeah, Rampage actually took a lot of damage there, as does MSI Dig as well. And that's because the heavy sniper from the opponents nearby, they're just popping open those builds, following up with heavy AR fire. That's why they're able to, unfortunately, that's why they lost a lot of health here. But now having to expend all their heals, it kind of seems like it wasn't worth it. The teams they've taken out didn't really reap big rewards here. Now they're in a weird situation, scrambling for health and loot, but it's okay. We're approaching Zone 5. It'll reveal itself in just 15 seconds, and then they'll have to make a big decision of whether they get to stay and kind of plan up or, you know, move out and use those shockwaves.
The big thing about decisions is they're the easiest to make when you have a lot of options.
Yeah.
The fact that they've ran out of all this utility, all these shields, limits their options. So now they have to play a certain type of way. They have to either find recyclable launch pads. Yes, they have the shockwaves, but then if they use them now, they lose the option as them for a win condition later in the game. So everything's kind of all on the plate now. They don't have any side dish available, no dessert coming up. It's one main course. They have to make sure it stays tasty. Hopefully they get in, and it's an easy coming from them all the way to the later parts of the zone where they can utilize whatever utility they have left.
Yeah, and this is a long rotation here, guys. They actually did not look out. The zone is pushing further and further away. Lucky for them, you can see the server is proactive. They're moving first, which is good, because if everyone's on the move, it allows you to cut across the field. The team's up on high ground. Hopefully wouldn't have had their ARs loaded, but not the case here, as Rampage gets chipped right out. He gets taken down this no-fly zone here. And he lands right next to the team. He's unsure of what he wants to do. He's trying to stay close but not fall down to, you know, a layer where he cannot be saved. But it looks like that's it. That's it. This team split up. Rampage is out the game. Now it's just a duo that remains here. It's MSI Dig and Sid Dig here, cooking up this minigun. This is a very precarious pressure point, so close to their opponents there. You can get punished in return with a shotgun. It's not going to be the case here, as they're just dictating the push here. Jib goes down. It's going to be a nice catch for them. He actually just finished that. It wasn't even his elim. So he's just trying to be really sneaky here. See if he can steal some of the rewards here from the down body. Little does he know, it's right over lava. It's probably not even retrievable.
Yeah, man, one big contingency off of coming off of a launch and losing your shield. It's a very risky, very, very risky play, is going towards another trio.
Yeah.
As you saw, they use another person's shield bubble because you attract all that heat. Maybe that trio doesn't want to deal with it. They're low on mats. They use their own resources, right? You turn 3-man's loot into 6-man's loot. The thing is, 3 of those people next to you are also not on your team. So as soon as they sense weakness, they turn right onto you. You saw that with Sadig here, who now has 6 HP, taking a whole minigun brawl from the trio that was closest to him, who was he was utilizing their shield bubble to kind of take protection from, but once that ran out, they knew exactly what was up. Now we're moving into that 6 circle off of half and half. 45 people left alive, 19 trios still there, 7 need to go down for placement.
Yeah, still a lot of trios left in the game here, and this is a really weird spot to battle, especially with the low health. You don't want to step in the lobby. You can't really afford to, and the elevation is only going to rise here as they go up and over the volcanic mountain. This is one of the steepest points in the world of the Fortnite world. This is similar to a polar peak climb here. It's a very steep wall you have to get up and over, and if they don't move soon, they're going to be stuck with their backs against the wall here. But you know what? It's more important, exactly, to try and pick up some siphon here. So Sigil going down there is going to be huge. That's going to at least help Sid get some health here if he can kind of hold out. A launch pad's going to be placed down in Upsy Daisy. Now into the next zone they go, and great tracking of his teammate here. That's actually a phenomenal job, even under the pressure and the circumstances that they found themselves in. Great job tunneling and finding his teammate.
Yep, even off of height and mid-ground, you mentioned going through this weird zone that's very vertical. Height still has a tough job actually tarping in and making sure they can actually shoot down on people while they're moving around, because they have to change exactly how high they are. That's why you saw these guys not get beamed exactly where they were. You have such a dynamic placing of all the mid-ground layers as well, going up and down, changing layers based off of natural low ground, because if you're too high, that's a threat, right? You want to be in the perfect position. Now they're using shockwave nades. The biggest thing about these, though, is when you're using them endgame, you do take a tent tick every now and then. These guys only have about 60 to 70 HP to play with. So every one of these shockwaves must be perfect, and some could also be saved. Jiren actually going down for a huge siphon elim and mats that these guys did need. They were almost shambles. Now they're not. The last almost shockwave coming in from Sadig, still taking ticks away from his teammate. Sadig actually going down, and Sadig is the one up here. Another Elim on Fahad. He goes down. RPG available as well. Looks like Sadiq actually caught up with him in that mid-ground there. Having mid-ground over here is such a big deal as well because you don't have to deal with any of the vertical pressure or low-ground weirdness that goes on with the change of the map.
That's some interesting decision-making right there. They split the shockwaves, saying, you know what, we can't afford to make any errors, right? We can't even shockwave together. Let's split up. Let's use our own shockwave so we can't make any mistakes. And that's what they're doing right here. They're trying to execute the perfect ways possible. Unfortunately, as I kind of brought it up, Dig does make a mistake there, and now he finds himself in an odd situation. He's in between all these enemies. His teammates up on high ground. Up, he's trying to go to him. He's just landing in enemy boxes right now.
That one big
got to make a big move here, and he's going to get caught off guard there. Unfortunately, he did try to get that high ground. He was not fortunate enough to kind of secure the deal here. In comes the minigun pressure. This is an awesome job right here. NJ is going to fall down right there. The Siphon has to come through here so he can get this health bonus. This is putting him in just a better and better situation as time ticks on. And it's looking like a solo right now. This is looking like a solo endgame here, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone representing and looking out for themselves here. There's a huge, heavy snipe shot right there. Dig's going to get really hurt. Can he trade out a shot? This zone's going to go out and finish him off here as Power finds that one right there. And it's MN7 versus this last player right here. There's only 2 players remaining, Shayo.
Yep, it's game 4 in Heat 1, and the competition is getting hot. We have a big pump coming in. ASMR Spy goes down. The Power ASMR rivalry finally ends in the end game. It's now a 1v1 to see who gets those final 4 points, 3 of placement, 1 for the Elim. Nice, big, easy, fast peaks coming down from NM7. Full Lada available. He does have that pump or shotgun delay since he has 2 tacks in. Will it make a difference? Almost not even out of mats at all. A nice 180 tack shot from height takes down DSQ and D for those big points in. Power is still on top. They can't be stopped right now. Huge game from them.
That was wonderfully done for NM7. And with that, we're going to head over to the floor with Sundown to give us a nice overview.
Early game, but we've seen now over and over again, teams aren't necessarily able to keep that discipline when it starts getting hectic and all of these fights are going down. Players start dropping all over the place. Right now, Adam ZK able to find a number of picks using the minigun and the edits to get pressure, but unfortunately isn't clean enough to pick them up without taking back damage. Now you can see Adam is in shambles, so W Horse is trying to play the protector role, but they're in fights on the back of the storm, and this is where it starts to break down. Despite getting the Siphon, everyone on their team needs to now regroup, and boom, we flip back over. W Horse, whole team is eliminated, was able to pick up a number of elims. 5 players left, 4 trios in the match. Power and Ev from the low ground is able to pick up 2 elims in a row and then maintain his positioning through discipline and then close out in the 1v1, giving him a huge boost. And these clutch factors is what's going to lift these players up, particularly as we head into the grand final tomorrow. I mean, it has just been incredible watching the action so far and getting to see the
real here, Shia. We saw for a second there, you know, couple classic jump shotgun plays, kind of keeping that high ground, kept it real textbook. There was a